my first advice to my students, the people I train, the people I talk to, is that at every stage of coffee, from the farm to the cup, you can gain something. So I first get to know, like, you as you, what's your passion? Is it going to the garden? Is it going to the factory? Or is it like being a supplier? First of all, we are working for people. We're working for people, but our dreams are being self-employed. Yes. So in coffee, if I'm mentoring you, if like I want you to get something good, improve on your life, me, I can pass through roasting. I can teach you how, like I can teach you or train you the part of coffee roasting. So within that process, you like will be making some money somewhere. And where does that money comes from? You buy your coffee, you roast, you pack it, and you sell. Of course, there are many cafes that are opening. We have our organizations here in Uganda, like they are boosting up the consumption. We have business people that are starting up cafes, but there is that gap. There's that gap of supply. There's that gap of supply. Big companies are exporting, but we can also be the big company at our youth stage. We roast our coffee, we pack it, and we sell it. Let me take another example. You can be a good person in computer graphic designing. So when I introduce that idea, you can plan the way of branding that coffee, how we can market that coffee. Yes. So we can, like, at the end of the process, me and you will be having something to put in the pocket, or to save on the account.
Coffee industry is very wide, it's very big, it's very full of opportunities. Don't sit there and say, I have nothing to do. You can join the industry. You can get whatever you want. If you give it time, invest in it. By giving it time, don't look for money, don't look for big salary at first. First learn. After learning, you'll get how much amount you need. In coffee industry, there's no like, barista should get this amount of money. No, it depends on your knowledge. What you know is what you get. You cannot be like having junior experience and asking for experienced one. No. You can join now. Good thing, everything is simple. It's easy. Don't sit there and say, oh no, I'm scared to join this. No, it's very simple. You can make. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not so difficult. Simple, very simple, very enjoyable. You can do everything when you're enjoying. You can do your coffee. You can serve your customers. Coffee create friendship. Coffee gives you a job. Even if you are not working in a cafe, maybe you can go in different field, but still in coffee industry. Yes.
Okay, so what is that process in coffee where you get to know which kind of disease is affecting a certain kind of coffee?
Okay, first is understanding them, is having regular talks with the extension workers, the researchers, and people who understand the diseases. A disease like coffee wilt disease, the most common, obvious symptom is dieback. Dieback is when your coffee dies from the head, that tip, it dies going down. Because coffee wilt disease is caused by fungi. Now the fungi will block nutrients and water from going up the tree.
Yeah.
That means the farthest is the one that is going to die.
Yeah.
The farthest will die and dies like that.
All the way
Let's
down.
Die back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the commonest disease. But coffee wool disease that does not have obvious symptoms on the cherries.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other diseases like red blister and then berry disease, they have obvious symptoms because they are specific to cherries.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a few symptoms on the leaves. Coffee leaf rust, your coffee will rust, and this is important for Arabica farmers. The coffee will have some rust under the leaf. When you turn your leaf like this, you'll see a rust.
Yeah.
Just like rust. Yeah.
It's another great morning. Welcome to House of Talent TV. My name is Emmanuel Ateng. This is the Coffee Break Show that happens every week. Wherever you are in the world, we're glad that you could join us today. Remember, we are live on our Facebook. You can go over to House of Talent Uganda on Facebook, or just go to our YouTube channel, House of Talent Uganda, live stream, and make sure to share this show far and wide with whoever is involved in the coffee industry. Or if you just know someone who's enthusiastic about coffee, let them know that the show is on, because we want to promote coffee in Uganda. Today in the house, I have a guest who has a wealth of experience. He has worked in Uganda, he has been to Kigali, he has worked all over East Africa doing coffee stuff, putting up coffee schools, and he is the MD, Managing Director of Volcano Coffee Uganda. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Mr. Gerald Ktabazi, to the Coffee Break Show for the first time. Gerald?
Yes.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
I know that we were supposed to do this show sometime way back, but
I know.
You know, with life things come up, you know, and all of us get busy. But it's great to have you here today, and I know that we're going to have a very fruitful discussion. But perhaps before we get into, you know, the nitty-gritty of all these things,
Yes.
we just want to know, who is Gerald?
Okay.
I remember going through your bio and I'm wondering, you know, there's a lot of stuff, you know, that other people need to know. So who is Gerald?
Yeah. Thank you so much, House of Talent and Emma, to host me. I know it's been a while, and you've really spent a lot of your time really chasing Gerald to come to the show. And this shows that the show itself has a direction to why you really have to tap really the entrepreneurs who are involved. Yeah. Who is Gerald? Good question. He's a Ugandan coffee entrepreneur. Born from the coffee background. That's in Kasese. My story is a little bit inspiring. Yeah. How I got into coffee. I was born in Kasese, Kilembe. Yeah. Then Kasese is one of the districts that actually farms coffee. Yeah. It's an origin of Arabica, stretching away from areas of Goye, Mukonyi Mubuku, go to Wera, Kasindi. Yeah. All these are coffee territories. Then while at school, during my holidays, I used to escape from my home, my parents. I got to Bakwanyi. Bakwanyi is actually one of the lead coffee exporters in the country, and he owns coffee stores in Kasese. Yeah. So I used to go there to. No, when I used to pass by going to school, I would see women seated on the verandas, hand picking, sorting, grading coffee from the sacks. So I was so curious. Deeply, I didn't know that it was the direction set by God that I will actually follow in the future. So I would go by, then ask them what's up. They tell me. Yeah. So during my holidays, I developed passion, or I developed interest to know exactly what these people are doing. So I would spend my holidays away from school with these ladies. Yeah. Now, time happened. Around 2000, we're talking about around 2003, 2002. My uncle picked me from Kasese, brought me to Kampala. Yeah. So when he brought me to Kampala, Najana Kombi, he owned a coffee, he owned a takeaway. He used to sell chips, chicken, beer, sodas, etc. So at that time, I was a young person, and then of course, the establishment used to collect different types of people from all over. Yeah. So they would come for a beer, for chips, chicken, and I would serve them. So it happened like one of the customers was from UCDA. So eventually we tied up. We became buddies. Because I was very good at customer care, giving, smile. At a young age, you know what that means to a person who is into a government agency, an establishment like that. Yeah. So he would come every Friday to drink his beer and then eat chips. Yeah. So he one day gave me an invitation to visit him at his office. Then I went, and then we had a few discussions. I went back. So from there, happened to have a vacancy at UCDA. So they invited me like for a casual talk, and then we bonded. So from there it became story. So at UCDA, definitely there was a lot of engagements of the crop diagnostic steps, etc. So there's a lot of learning experiences. Yeah. So that's how I came into coffee.
That's an interesting story.
Yes, that's how I came into coffee.
Most people just bump into coffee one day.
In addition to that, what followed from that part? Yeah. Cafe Pub was opening. You know Cafe Pub Parliament Avenue? Yeah. Then when it was opening, I happened to pass by, and then I saw iron sheets, and then there was construction ongoing, etc. So when I went there, I asked the guard that what's going on. To be precise, that was 2004. Yeah. That was 2004. Then I asked the guard. He told me, no, there's a hotel. For him, he knew it was a hotel coming up in town. And there are people actually who are doing what? Doing interviews. Yeah. I picked interest, so I entered there. So I found Mr. Kojwang Isaiah, who actually is the general manager of Holiday Express Hotel at opposite Radio 1, doing interviews with a chef from Kenya called Robert Yose. So after one of the people that they were interviewing getting off from the interview room, I stepped in. I wasn't invited, I wasn't done one, but I stepped in.
Took opportunity.
Then, yes, I excused myself, greeted them. Yeah. After that, they asked me what's up. I'm like, I'm looking for a job. Have you worked anywhere? Yes, I worked with my uncles, take away na jana nkombe. I can wash dishes, I can serve, that's all. Yeah. But then, as they always say, everything that is structured by God must happen. Yeah. So, they told me to go back home and compose myself. I come at 10 the following day. By 8 I was on the gates. So, and from there, I mean, I explained to them, and then they integrated me into their training program. Yeah. So that's how I got a job. So when I got, that was my first job in the coffee shop. So we opened up Cafe Pub. We were trained as baristas on site like that. Then we moved on, and I got a job as a waiter. Yeah. So as you know, the business went into different structure, dynamics, management, etc. And I was appointed as a supervisor, assistant. Then I went through structures like becoming a barista, assistant head barista. From there, Serena was transferring from Nile Hotel now to Serena. I applied as a barista, and a position that was not advertised. So when they called me, remember at Cafe Pub now I have an experience. I know what is a latte is, cappuccino, etc., mocha, what it means, and then being management, I mean quality issues like that. So at Serena, Madam Vicky, the one who was on the interview panel, was so confused to find my application is among the applicants to a job that was not what?
Advertised.
Yeah. So I met them. So they had nothing to me because they had not prepared for questionnaires for a barista.
For a barista, yes.
So instead, I was guiding them on how to compose the menu for Kampala Center Hotel, structure it, have issues done. Yeah. They were so impressed. So story short, Mr. Emma, I wasn't even taken through a number of questions regarding to interviews. Yeah. I was instead given an appointment on the following week on Monday to get a bus ticket to Nairobi, Serena Hotel, for exposure. So I packed my pants, I packed my jackets, I packed everything. I bought a bus, that was Gateway. I went to my Nairobi Serena Hotel. I had a little bit experience. When I reached to Nairobi, I got more exposed. You know, the coffee industry in Kenya is really aggressive. Yeah. So, of course, as I was on the training program I was internally integrated into the training program of Nairobi Serena Hotel and externally integrated into Sidomans of Nairobi. You've heard about Sidomans coffee? Yeah. So at Sidomans, I was capturing lessons to do with roasting, cupping, the environment that is structured in coffee management. Then at Nairobi Hotel, Nairobi Serena Hotel, I was into brewing section. Yeah, so I combined two in one. Took me 2 months, we opened up Kampala Serena. I came back and then we opened up, so it's up. So I left a footprint at Kampala Serena. So in the same year, they were acquiring Kigali Serena Hotel. So it's how I was pushed to Kigali to go and reopen, because I have now a full-fledged oneself, and who is, creative. So my goal was to become the perfect person. And I really thank God that made me who I am, because I have consistently tried to push the perfection conduct within me by myself. So in Kigali, remember I was in Nairobi, I happened to meet one of the government officials, Mr. Arthur Karuletwa. So he connected me with me again in Nairobi, and in Kigali Serena Hotel. So he loved my cappuccinos, my lattes, my espressos. So we had one-on-one, and then he liked what I was doing. Then he actually worked hard to get me into the government of Rwanda. So that's how I ended up shifting from Serena Hotel, group of hotels East Africa, then to Rwandan government. So we did concepts, we did plans on how to structure the coffee industry of Rwanda. So I'm proud to say that I was one of the founders of the specialty coffee industry of Rwanda under Bourbon Coffee. So I stayed there for about 4 years. Then after that, I came back, starting Volcano Coffee in 2014. So Volcano Coffee was up. Now, what is Volcano Coffee, and what are we doing exactly?
Perhaps that's where
we're
going to go next.
Yes. So that's a brief I can give about who I am, my background, and the future. Yes.
Well, 2 things stand out to me. One is that you actually applied for a position that had not been advertised at all. And I think if you're watching out there, you might be wondering, how do I get into a job that I want? They didn't even advertise it. Take your chance. Apply for it. Get there. Who knows? you might end up schooling them on what needs to be done. Second thing that stood out to me is that you actually have your footprint all over East Africa.
Exactly.
I think if we went to any big coffee shop or any government and asked Gerald Ktabazi, they'll say, that man was here. And it's a very encouraging story, especially for all those who are getting into the coffee industry, the baristas and the roasters. And perhaps, before we go for a break, Volcano Coffee.
Volcano Coffee.
Having gotten all this experience from all these various places, how did you sit down one day and say, you know what, I want to branch into my own thing? What was the idea behind it?
Volcano Coffee, as I said, is a brand that is pioneering the coffee culture in Uganda with the best, latest brewing experiences. You see, largely you will find that in Uganda or in East Africa, but particularly in Uganda, because that's where the confusion is. Nairobi, Kenya is a little bit ahead of us. They're a little bit organized, set up. And this comes with, of course, the practitioners' mindsets. I will mention that people are now connected, and they're bonded because they have a vision and a mission. Of a case that is a little bit slow here, I'll hit that on that. I'll hit on that later. Then Kigali is also catching up with the trends. Well, it's a small community, but a little bit. You see, they are struggling, but they have a vision. They have a mission. Because as I speak, Rwandan coffee, is currently brewing across the globe. You go to London, you find a shop, you go to London shop.
Yeah.
You go to Seattle, you find one. You go to Barcelona, you find one.
Mm.
Well, for Uganda, we are still at a stage of crafting a story. A story, I mean, we need a story. Because when we're talking of like Rwanda, and you hit the stores like in the US, because I've done research, I've been there, I've met the players.
Yeah.
You definitely find like there's a story that is attached to the commodity.
Yeah.
Kenya Double A is one of the best seller. Yes, and yet you know where they source that coffee from. So, story for another day. Now, Volcano Coffee, we are largely into this as a social enterprise.
Yeah.
Social enterprise, I mean that we are engaging people like Emma, like him, to have a story, to learn. Exactly. When you can walk into our shop, first thing, we're not into direct like, you need to do this and pay. No. Who are you and what are you interested into this? Yeah. So that we first understand your mind. Then after understanding your mind, then we begin diagnosing your questions perfectly, aligned to exactly what you're looking for. So we're a social enterprise with interest in brewing, because we have shops, Kasesa and Mbale, and Kampala now. So we're taking experiences to the origins. That's one. Two, we're into roastery, because we are roasting coffee right now using the third wave roasting concepts. Yeah. Unlike the traditional ones, whereby you have coffee collected anywhere, then brought it to the roastery, just put it into the drum, then expose it. No. For us, we first of all go into diagnosis stages. We analyze your bean. Is it? We give feedback. Is it suitable for is suitable for this market or it's not? Yeah. So you're able to do business confidently. You are able to do business or to give your target market a product that is going to be well sustainable. Because we don't need to go into business and then second time the customer tested this lot and it's totally different. So that doesn't make sense. Yeah. So me as a player, I have to make sure that I take steps to guide who is coming to our roastery. Yeah. So we're a social enterprise with an economic arm, doing brewing, doing roasting, giving experiences. That's all.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, that is a really good concept, because most people just open up, let's say, a coffee shop or an organization just basically to make money. Yeah, to make money. There is not much into it, but it's interesting to know that you have a vision and a goal. Yeah. If you have just joined us, you're watching the Coffee Break on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel Ateng. With me in the studio is Mr. Gerald Ktabazi, the only man I know who applied for a job that was not advertised, got the job, and schooled the people that employed him. He has left his footprint all over East Africa and is here today on the Coffee Break Show to leave another footprint. We'll take a break right now, but we'll be right back. This is House of Talent Television.
Coffee industry is very wide, it's very big, it's very full of opportunities. Don't sit there and say, I have nothing to do. You can join the industry. You can get whatever you want. If you give it time, invest in it. By giving it time, don't look for money, don't look for big salary at first. First learn. After learning, you'll get how much amount you need. Yeah. In coffee industry, there's no like, barista should get this amount of money. No, it depends on your knowledge. Yeah. What you know is what you get. You cannot be like having junior experience and asking for experienced one. No. You can join now. Good thing, everything is simple. Yeah. It's easy. Don't sit there and say, oh no, I'm scared to join this. No, it's very simple. You can make. Yeah, it's very simple. It's not so difficult. Simple, very simple, very enjoyable. You can do everything when you're enjoying. You can do your coffee. You can serve your customers. Coffee create friendship. Yeah. Coffee gives you a job. Even if you are not working in a cafe, maybe you can go in different field, but still in coffee industry. Yeah. Yes.
Let's put up the camera. Welcome back to House of Talent Television. This is the Coffee Break Show with me, Emmanuel. Remember, you can catch us live on our Facebook page, that's on House of Talent Uganda, or just go over to our YouTube at House of Talent Uganda live stream. Catch the show right now. Remember, you can share it far and wide, and perhaps just drop a comment there. If you're enjoying the show, let us know. If there's something we need to improve, let us know. If you want to be on the show also, let us know. We can get you here. In the house with me today, though, is Mr. Gerald Ktabazi, who has been all over East Africa. He has worked for the Rwanda government. He has set up Volcano Coffee. He has worked for Cafe Java, started off at Cafe Pub, and is here with us today to put another footprint in the coffee industry and in the coffee value chain. Gerald, welcome back.
Thank you so much.
Before we went, we're talking about where you began from,
yep.
You know, in Kasese, coming all the way to Kampala, then moving to Kenya, going to Rwanda, yeah. Then coming back
not
to
only
Uganda.
Rwanda, not only East Africa, because in 2019 I was in DC.
Yeah.
I'd gone to study about markets, specialty markets,
yeah.
And dynamics and how commodities are moving globally. So I took 1 year then and I had to come back. So my objective was captured. But then, yeah, as I said, it's a mission I'm on because I'm trying to pioneer a new coffee culture that is structured and structured, I mean like is aligned to the global business dynamics, so that when someone reads Ugandan coffee, is able to really resonate it to its origin. Yeah. So what do I mean? Like when we begin giving stories, there should be a reason, there should be a cause to why that coffee is moving places to, from Uganda to other such places. Destinations. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Speaking of the coffee culture,
yes.
You've been around all these places, you know, going to even DC.
Yeah.
What are the major differences you've seen in the coffee culture? And perhaps before we get there, how would you describe coffee culture? Then we'd move into the differences between the coffee culture and the different places you've worked in outside Uganda, and also the coffee culture within our own country.
Okay. I'll give you an overview on how the coffee culture in Uganda has been transformed or has been moving from a place to the other. Yeah. We are talking of 10 years back experience where we had 2% as a coffee domestic consumption rate. Yeah. And I'm glad to mention that we've really managed to move from 2% now to close to 10% in the space of 10 years. Yeah. So that gives you a picture that the culture is catching up. Yeah. However, there's still a lot of work to do. To do in terms of the larger coffee is exported. You're aware of that. Yeah. And you know why, and you know, if you either way, you can tell, you know, the reason to why it is exported. And why it was coined as to be a cash crop. All these are crop. All these are measures to really make the crop get stuck, or the players or the farmers themselves gain nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a culture we want to begin building as young entrepreneurs in Uganda, that no, look, without exporting it, we can still consume this.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. I was in Istanbul in 2016. There was an exhibition. I had to go with the, collect the samples from different origins and then put them on a plane, roast a few beans, ground it, then have it on in a booth, customize my booth deck. Looked wow. But here comes a Danish guy who came to my booth, and then we had a one-on-one. He's like, what's up? I'm cool. Why here? I'm like, yes, I'm here to do business. I'm looking for buyers who can buy the product. So we went into numbers. Shockingly, the numbers were really valid, but not giving a proper explanation. This is how it came. He asked me the population back home. Then we are 38, 39 Ugandan population. Yeah. The number of people that forms up this nation. Yeah. Then we went into production. How many bags can you produce? Then we are like 3.7 or 3.5 million bags of coffee. Then when you convert and then have the figures really late, you find that 3.5 million bags of coffee against 40 million or 39 million of people, it's nothing. So it's like, why burning your ticket and accommodation, etc., to come in Istanbul, yet you have a market waiting? And indeed, it was really absolutely right. Because why should I really get bothered to export raw material to European countries? Yet I'm looking at the number of 120 million East African population. Of which these guys can consume my what? Your coffee. My product. Yeah. So when we're talking of developing up a culture, we need to restructure the industry itself. We need to know who is doing what. If Emma is into media, exposing the behaviors, people who are behind counters, who are behind roasting engines, people who are doing farming, what's the role of Gerald now? What's the role of the roaster guy? What's the role of the logistic guy who transports this coffee from the origins to the main roasters? And what's the role of the kappa who tests this coffee? What's the role of the marketer who is into marketing hotels? So all these guys must come together and then have a strategy, to a concrete strategy, to make things move. And this is how we must design a structure that is really categorized into 2 to 3 agents. We need the structure of farmers. A farmer's voice definitely will come with a voice and say, no, look, if you're a farmer X operating from Renzo region, you must meet these standards. Because I'm a roaster, and I'm a marketer, and I'm a broker, so I meet all these questions. Then a farmer from Elgon zone must meet these standards, because these are different angles, and they produce different types of exactly. So it's the same way I can give you an example of the breweries. You have a club beer and then have a bell beer. They totally taste different. So folks will either go for a club beer and others will go for a bell. There is a reason to why they are born into these brands. Same applies to an appellation center I'm talking about. So an appellation center customized into three areas or structures of farmers with a single voice. You get? They will say, no, today we're not going to export this coffee. And they put a bulkhead. And to happen, you see culture coming up. We have roasters who will say, no, the moisture content we want, we've set 11% of the moisture content of your bean should be into the drum. The 14 will be thrown out. You are building a culture. The bursar will say, no, you see, the bean that has all these choky, these broken ones, these defects, etc., pest-connected beans, I don't want it into the grinder. You say culture building up. When you build those elements together, you're able now to have a consistently brewed product in the market. If I come to Hotel Millennium in Bukoto and have an espresso, same I should be expecting with Cafe Javas. So if we don't have those structured components within an industry, forget for now. And I'm talking from the point of experience. I'll give you an example just from here in the 5 hour plane to UAE. These guys are really doing an amazing job.
Yeah.
As we speak, as we still practice the first wave of coffee brewing experience, they're into third. Japan is into the fourth. So how are we going to advance to this?
Yeah, to catch up with them.
Catch up with them. So before you fight hard to catch up with them, you need to first align your mindset to better a culture.
True. Now, I like what you said in there, especially when it comes to the farmers. You know, the farmers are, you said, the way the structure is right now, okay, it puts the farmers down.
Yeah, definitely, they're into small clusters, smallholders.
And there's this new coffee law,
yeah,
perhaps, that we have to discuss. There's a famous person, I won't say the name, who said that this law is there basically to shut down the small-time players, okay? What is your view on this? According to this law, you're supposed to register, you're supposed to be at a certain standard, okay? Perhaps with your experience,
yes,
okay?
yes.
Will this work for us or against us?
I'll give you, you see, I like giving views based on examples.
Yeah.
Colombia. You've heard about Colombia. This is now South America.
South America, yes.
We have Colombia, we have Costa Rica, we have Brazil, Vietnam.
Mm.
All these territories or these origins have laws, similar to ours, and they are functioning very well. However, as I told you, now we have a law that is enforced and is going to be implemented. Yeah. But which structures are you going to apply to make sure that you enforce these laws? Mm. This brings you back to the structuring of the sector. Because, okay, now you have a law, yes, because to me, definitely I would support it, because it gives the government a proper way of planning to know the numbers of the farmers they have in the country. Yeah. Because right now, you can't, even if you wake up and then you go to UCD and tell them, well, guys, give me the figures of the coffee roasters in the country, I doubt if they have the numbers.
I also doubt it.
I doubt if they have the numbers of the baristas. Do you know we are the nation, we are the biggest exporter of coffee baristas to the UAE today? Yeah. Do they have the numbers? Do they know who actually went yesterday?
Most people do it independently.
Fantastic. So the law, partly to me, is okay. Because, well, it's a governing policy that is going to help the country achieve its goal via that sector. Yeah. But how the coming of the law and the implementation of that law is the question. Because to have that in law work fairly, equally fairly, to plan, you need a barristers forum. Do you have it?
I don't think they do. Yes,
we don't. Because I'm one. We don't have a barristers forum. Because this forum should be giving views. It should be, giving challenges. Yeah. You see, do you know that there are some cafes that use plastics to steam milk? Like I saw. Steam what?
Milk.
For cappuccinos. The connection of a plastic container to milk is absolutely wrong. Yeah. You get? And you know why, health-wise. Yeah. So, who is going to advocate for such good SOPs? Is a barrister. Now, from which platform is the barrister going to view those SOPs? Yeah. It's none. No, so, if you have a law that has, if you have a law that has police but has no practitioners, then it's wrong. So to me, it's a law that is there on paper, and I'm actually, after 1 year or 2 years, we shall be here again discussing about
the same law.
The same law. How far has it gone? Yeah. Where has it helped? Because it's going to be shelved. Yeah. Yeah. Because, in 2013, look, I was working with USAID, Feed the Future, as a contractor. Yeah. They were funding one of the bullets. They were funding the Roasters Forum. You get? And they were looking for roasters to support, but there were none. Yeah. You get? However, the sector managers will tell you that we have a roasters forum, which is on paper, yes, but shelved somewhere. So this comes back again to the people who are involved. Inclusion. Yeah. Emma, who is into media, Gerald, who is into roasting, him who is into brewing. What do we do? Yeah. Then can we? Because we need to get prepared. At some point, they will come, and because the law spells out different areas of concerns, including media, they will come and lock your office, and you have no space to really get visitors to come and do what? They show. So you must get involved and then begin questioning what's the way forward. The law is very perfectly, but how it's going to be implemented is the question. Yeah. We shall be after 2
years discussing this. Well, perhaps before we get into another break,
Yes.
we've talked about inclusion.
Inclusion,
Okay?
yes.
We have roasters, baristas, we have farmers, we have the media, and we have all these players.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
And with all the people who have been on the show,
Yes.
okay, the idea I'm getting is that everyone is standing on their own island.
Yeah.
Okay. The
Yeah.
baristas say UCDA is not helping us.
Yeah, yeah.
UCDA says the baristas are not coming to us.
Oh,
The-
really?
Yeah. The roasters say there is no connection. So,
Yeah.
how do we get all these people in
Now,
the same space? How do
very
we create
good.
that forum? That
I've met the same question several occasions. Each platform I'm invited to speak,
yeah.
I encounter it.
Mm.
And now this brings us back to players' mindsets.
Yeah.
What is our vision? Yes, UCDA itself is actually a government body supposing to supervise us.
Mm.
You get? However, if we are players, what's our role within the sector itself?
Mm.
Well, I've seen several of them, and this brings us back because of the poor managers of the sectors either we have, because I speak my views. These are my own opinions.
Yeah.
Because we have mushrooming academies around. I'll give you an example. I know these academies.
Mm.
Few of them are for my friends. Few of them I've never met them.
Yeah.
But the stuff they're producing, I know their products, the skills transfers they are doing to other,
To the people.
other people, I know. But when you go into real standards of international curriculums, you see that there are some gaps.
Mm.
And now, if they have gaps, who is supposed to audit what they're doing? Should be UCD. And where is it into this?
It's
Okay,
lost
now.
somewhere
Yeah.
in translation.
So now, nonetheless, if you mentioned the roasters, the baristas,
Farmers,
the media,
baristas,
the
yes.
farmers,
Mm.
who is supposed to organize us?
There should be there should be someone to organize, but
Okay,
there is
now,
no one. At
for
the
your
top
information,
right there.
Emma, do you know that we have about 4 parallel baristas forums in this country?
No.
You don't know.
Yeah, because
They're
even the
there.
baristas who have been here
Yeah.
do not know about.
Do you know that we
the
have
same.
several roasters forums around in this country?
Oh,
They are there.
yeah,
Do you know that we have unions on top of cooperatives
yeah. The
in this
farmers'
country?
union,
Yes,
Mm.
they are there. And why are we stuck? And why are we stuck? Yeah, so that's the question.
Yeah,
So I would actually task you as a media personality
yeah,
to invite, to have this room of yours crowded
Mm.
with these guys,
yeah,
and then put questions to everyone.
yeah.
What's your role in this sector?
True.
Okay, give us a strategy, give us a way forward. And because we've been stuck,
Yeah,
if we are mentioning that 10 years back, we've been at the rate of coffee consumption of 2%, and we've managed to jump it to 10, with the kind of challenges we have within,
yeah,
supposing we're organized more. You get?
yeah.
Over
Would
to
have
you.
left. Yeah, well, if you're catching the show right now, you're on the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent Television, talking to Mr. Gerald Ktabazi about everything that is happening in the coffee industry in Uganda. We started all the way from him starting in Kasese, we went to Volcano Coffee, and now we're discussing the new coffee laws and how it's affecting us. Will it build us or will it tear us down? That is what we're discussing. If you're catching the show right now, make sure to tell someone, send us a comment. If you're asking a question, let us know what you're asking. We'll take a break right now, but we'll be right back. This is the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent Television. Don't go anywhere.
it is never too late to start anything, that is for sure. You can start on anything and everything at any time. It is not yet, like, time is not lost, you can do it. Yeah. Put God first, like Bernie said, put God first. Number 2, me, I have a mentor, she's called Letitia, the one of KCCA. Like, she will call me to ask me, did you train? Like, get that one person that is going to do that for you, and I thank God for her. Yeah, get that one person that is going to do that for you. It can be your coach, it can be someone that has played the game. Yeah. Bernie is here and she's willing to do that for you. Please reach out to her. Yeah, basically that is it. And also trusting yourself. It starts with you. If you feel like you can't do it, even when you try it, it's not going to move. Yeah. But when you feel like you can do it, with God helping you and having your mentor by your side and all that, you can surely make it.
Welcome back to the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel Ateng. Are you in the coffee industry? Are you a barista? Are you a farmer? Are you a roaster? Good. Are you a CEO? Or you just love taking coffee? Do you know what is happening in the background of coffee in your own country? Do you know why we export more coffee than we consume actually in our own country? Those are the things that we're discussing today with Mr. Gerald Ktabazi, who is in the studio with us. And we're discussing all these things to make sure that Ugandan coffee gets to the place to where it's supposed to be. Now, Gerald, in the just concluded Dubai showcase,
yes,
okay, Uganda had a stand.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And on social media,
yes,
everyone on social media,
yes,
didn't like what happened.
Yeah.
You know, with our showcase there,
yeah,
as a country.
Yeah.
And perhaps that shows who we are, the kind of brand that we are taking out there. Okay. So first, what are your comments on that showcase that we had? And second, how can we brand Ugandan coffee out there?
Okay, now, one, I'm a player.
Yeah.
Two, I have a person who regulates what I do. That's Uganda Coffee Development Authority,
yeah,
and whose role actually is to include, to instill inclusion in each and every activity that it does.
Yeah.
Now, I was following up those. I followed up, and I'm still following up because I'm supposed to be in the UAE for that exhibition. I think next month.
Yeah.
I'm going to prepare. I'm preparing myself. But a few items I observed that for Ugandan case, Emma, you see, you have a family. When you have a family, of course, you have a wife, you have a caretaker, a shamba boy, yeah, and your own kids, perhaps. Mm. And then, at some point, your neighbor is having a wedding. Is wedding a son or a daughter, yeah, next weekend. Mm. Now, your neighbor invites you for what? For his wedding, for the son's or the daughter's wedding, whatsoever. Yeah. And then, now, it's you who is supposed to decide exactly what your people who are going to follow you, or who you are going with to that wedding, to how to dress. Yeah. You understand? Mm. I mean, dressing code may differ, but you can't force me to put on a suit. Yet I'm not comfortable with the suits, jackets, etc. Yet I'm comfortable with my pants, damaged jeans, etc. Yeah. You get? Mm. So why I'm giving that a background is exactly what happened to UAE. Here you have 192 exhibitors under one roof. Yeah. And you are part of the team. You are part of the exhibitors, and you have players who are back home, who are really doing amazing job. Well, you may not have enough resources to support everyone. Hmm. But to me, it would be very nice to say, like, you know, my son, yeah, I know you hate a suit, you hate to put on a coat, but let's put kaunda suit, and then let's go together. You look presentable to both me, represent my family, and then
the
community.
Yeah.
Do you understand that? So what we should do is really indeed to put the bracket of inclusion in each and every country as whole. Yeah. Because we belong. This is our country.
Yeah.
Because we, first of all, for us who are into private sector, we are driven by passion. We are driven by
passion.
So when you charge me with an activity, definitely I have to make sure that I really put each and every dot to make it a wow.
Yeah.
So when it comes as a wow, it does not only benefit Volcano Coffee, but it's going to benefit even
the country itself.
So now, not until the country itself, the handlers of these events, etc., government, whatsoever, begin including each and every one into their plans, we are going to remain stuck.
Yeah.
I'm talking from the point of experience. You have 192 exhibitors, and Emma is flying off from either Denmark or Greece to come for exhibition. And he comes to your booth. He finds you with the textbooks. Yeah? He goes to his desk and finds a textbook. Contains information. Yeah. Remember, you have 192 exhibitors. Now, meaning if I need an information about Volcano Coffee, I need to carry a textbook. Yeah. Huh? In a magazine, something of sort.
Like a pamphlet with information, yes.
This magazine about Volcano Coffee contains about 200 pages or 15 pages or whatsoever. Yeah. Same to his magazine. So eventually, when I break the day, I'll go with 10 magazines of this heap. Meaning I have extra cages on a plane. Yeah. So do you think if I'm wise, I'll go on correcting these texts?
No.
So if at all I think as an entrepreneur, I have memory sticks. I have a memory sticks. Yeah. I have a memory stick to go giving on, which costs me $5. Yeah. Yeah. Won't I make a point?
You will.
So, the point is, you can't go to such an international exhibition platform when you are disorganized. Definitely, these are the questions you have to encounter, and then come back home, and then you set your mind, and then you begin looking around, asking yourself what to do. Yes. So, the Dubai experience is good, but it awakens those who are into these sectors, who are handling what, to begin redefining their mindsets. Yeah. Then also incorporating into the inclusion bracket into their working structures. Not until we shall be as taxpayers.
Yeah. Well, if you're just joining us here on the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent Television, my name is Emmanuel Ateng. We're still talking coffee with Mr. Gerald Ktabazi. Very informative interview. If you've missed the first part, remember you can always catch it later on House of Talent Television. That's on our YouTube and also on our Facebook. Gerald, coming back.
Yes.
I read from your bio that you work with the youth.
Youth.
Okay. Yes. One of your guys was here the last weekend, and he also gave us a very good perspective on the coffee industry in Uganda. And looking at this period that we've been in, the whole coronavirus and the lockdown, and kids haven't been in school, businesses have been down, and Uganda is at a place whereby the economy is not where it's supposed to be. A couple of years back, someone in the government said the economy would be but we didn't get there. Okay, so in a situation like this, okay, where you find that there are people graduating, coming out of campus, no jobs. Okay, there are people who have lost their jobs. Yesterday, I passed via Makerere University, and there were shops along one of the streets that were destroyed by certain government bodies. Okay, and people are losing their businesses. Okay, if we export as much coffee as we do, okay, we don't consume it here. How can we use this coffee seed, this coffee idea, this coffee concepts, okay? Yeah,
to accelerate growth.
To accelerate not only growth, but to create jobs, impact on the youth, those coming out of campus, and just to let our economy get to the place where it's supposed to be. Because if you look at Ethiopia, Uganda says we're trying to get to the place where Ethiopia is. It's the leading coffee grower in Africa, an exporter, okay? And we are trying to get there. But with all these problems, you have different players on different planets, people coming out into the job market with nothing. So how can we use coffee to accelerate Uganda's economy?
You see, first of all, Uganda as a country, we are really blessed. We are a nation that harvests coffee twice a year. That alone shows you how blessed we are. We are a nation that produces coffee well, despite all the challenges we have on production at the farm gates, at management, etc. We are a nation at least who can produce now, is it 40 million bags or 30? By numbers given by UCDA website, is I think 38 million bags. You get? Now, a larger portion of that coffee is into exports. And you know who exports it? We are talking of multi-internationals, not actually even folks like you who are Ugandans. Top 10, these are multi-internationals. And their goal is, of course, to export a raw material. And when you export a raw material, a raw commodity, you are going to create a job for the other person. The 9 coffee bullets we talk about, are you aware of the 9 coffee bullets? No. Or I break them for you?
Please break them down.
The 9 coffee bullets that we're talking about, these are entirely a supply chain along the value chain engagements that we have. We're talking of the post-harvest activities. This is harvesting coffee. Get into Kase, this Chiboko, you know. Then go and harry it, get FAQ, fair added quality coffee. After harrying it, you need to grade it. After grading it, you need to cap it. After capping it, you need to roast it. After roasting it, you need to deliver it. That's a 6th bullet. After delivering it to a cafe, like where you found me, you need to roast it, to brew it. That's the job of a barista. After brewing it, you need to serve it. That's a waitress or waiter. After serving it, that's happiness, the last consumer. You know, after drinking this cup of coffee, what follows?
Happiness.
Is a smile. So these are the 9 coffee bullets I'm talking about. All these are composed of fully fledged, cool jobs. Cool? Jobs. But because we are still stuck with the colonialist mentality of naming the crop a cash crop, that sentence has really made us get stagnant, get stuck into our minds. Then we have leadership that is not going or reading the beyond the bean. You know that tagline? Beyond the bean. So they are stuck at some point. All what they are looking at is to capture the revenues. You know, because I know, not shy to say this, one container it's 2% of their revenue. So they're looking at, they are major focused on the 2% collection from each container. So that's wrong. So that's why I'm saying to have that captured forums, platforms, views, document, push to whoever is responsible to capture them, then bring the questions to the table. However, during my career, I've managed to train 1,225 young people in coffee, brewing, roasting, farming activities. Not doing it alone, I've done this with the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. I've done it with UNDP. I've done it with the Feed the Future, a US program that is looking at the farm agriculture developments in Africa. I've done it with different 1,200. So these young people, most of them, they really want skills. And once you train them, they're able now to have a future fully secured. Not these political slogans of yours. Fully secured. Because I've seen how the crop transforms lives. With myself, first of all, I'm a product of that transformation. So I'm talking from the point of, I'm not an entrepreneur that is just sourced from the street, then with a few bucks in my wallet, then come cultivate it. No, I'm a product of that transformation. So I know how it is. Right now, Volcano Coffee employs 35. The pandemic hit us, definitely yes, but like entrepreneurs, we figure out how to jump out and then start a new life. However, I would advocate, or I would say, coffee is one crop that can really transform lives, can create impacts, but it's capital intense. It's capital intense. So you need me, I need you. We need a development partner, we need a government. Policies should be favorable so that we can become a better collection and move the country forward. It's one crop I believe in that can secure hundreds and thousands of jobs for this nation.
Yeah, interesting.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Yes.
If we get to that spot of actually creating jobs in the country, okay, I've realized when it comes to the coffee industry, there's a lot of brain drain. Everyone who becomes a barista, his mind is thinking, okay, you know what, the first thing I have to do, get a visa to Dubai, get a visa to Qatar, get a visa to the UAE to go and work, okay? And we make it seem like those jobs are not there because they're not developed, okay? And we have actually companies that are sending people out of Uganda, and that is sending money outside of the country. Okay,
for your information,
how do we get them back here?
Yeah, for your information, this conversation now brings us back to the culture. UAE, as I speak, each day that goes by, since morning, by closing time, 10 coffee shops are opening. Because of a culture. People consume a coffee culture that is in UAE. You can't match it to Ugandan. You get it? It's a weekend. You go to nearby roadside bars. People are now boozing, taking beers, but in UAE it's different. So they have UAE and other territories or other countries in the Gulf. They have structured their coffee culture fully because they are supported. They have incentives on taxes. Here, the other day, I was importing my coffee roaster. You only had to stamp me a 15 million Uganda change for taxes. Not until I made noise, and they had to drop it by force because I showed them the impact of that roaster is going to contribute to the economy. So we still have no education with these guys within these sectors that are governing. First of all, so it's so ridiculous to find that someone who is stamping a machine like a coffee roaster to get it away from the bone does not know the law that all the agricultural machineries are tax exempted. So I had to go back and then begin educating, who is supposed to be this side educating Emma that, you know what, this is a machinery that is going to add value, please don't tax it. So as long as we still have such gaps within different sectors of this government, honestly, it's a journey. But it's a journey that is, because I'm happy that young people are now taking charge. And now they can listen so fast so that they see the values and they love their country. Now, back to the jobs. I still insist, we need to have a structured coffee sector. Then when we do the mapping, we know who is handling Eastern region, who is handling Southwest, that's Kisoro ETC, the Chigezi region. We know who is handling West Nile. We know who is handling where, Renzo region, stuff like that. Then we're able now to begin formulating objectives of what? Of the industry, vis-a-vis impacts, jobs, growth, etc. So that's it. But it's a conversation that can, of course,
keep going. I believe that this is a conversation for another day. We can sit here and go hours and hours. If you're just tuning in, this has been the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent Television. My name is Emmanuel Ateng, and we have fast spent for our time, but we will catch this show again with Gerald because I believe that there's still a lot more to be talked about. Gerald, thank you very much.
Thank you so much
for coming through. I know we chased you for a long time, and you finally came.
The conversation should stay.
Yes.
As long as it can go beyond the bin and we realize the impacts and growth from it.
And perhaps one day we'll come down to Volcano Coffee and actually have a good conversation.
Feel free to come
from there.
Feel free to come and then see experience. Actually, I would suggest bring the cameras so that we can have really a practical what?
A good
at the roastery, guys bring this. That's
all right. If you've been watching the show, thank you very much. Remember to leave us a comment down in our comment section, whether on YouTube, on Facebook, or even on our Twitter. And let us know, did you enjoy the show? Are there some questions that you have that you need answered? Is there someone you need to see on this show? Let us know. This has been the Coffee Break Show on House of Talent Television. My name is Ateng Emmanuel. I had Gerald Ktabazi in the house, and perhaps next weekend we'll have someone else. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and drink Ugandan coffee.
It is never too late to start anything, that is for sure. You can start on anything and everything at any time. It is not yet, like, time is not lost, you can do it. Yeah. Put God first, like Bernie said, put God first. Number two, me, I have a mentor, she's called Letitia, the one of KCCA. Like, she will call me to ask me, did you train? Like, get that one person that is going to do that for you, and I thank God for her. Yeah, get that one person that is going to do that for you. It can be your coach, it can be someone that has played the game. Yeah. Okay. Bernie is here and she's willing to do that for you. Please reach out to her. Yeah, basically that is it. And also trusting yourself, it starts with you. If you feel like you can't do it, even when you try it, it's not going to move. Yeah. But when you feel like you can do it, with God helping you and having your mentor by your side and all that, you can surely make it.